have resigned my position of fullback for the Love Corporation effective 1 o'clock p.m. Sunday, July 27th, 1980. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Signed, John Riggins.
John Riggins sat out the entire 1980 season. The following year, Joe Gibbs was hired as head coach of the Redskins. He went to Kansas to try to convince John to come back.
I meet him at the back door. I've got a Budweiser in each hand. And Joe goes, by the way, this isn't good when you're on a job interview. I would not recommend this to anybody. Meeting the boss with a beer in each hand. But me being me. So, I drank my beer and I drank Joe's, and we sat down and we had breakfast, and then, we discussed a few things.
He leaned across the table and he goes, "You need to get me back there. I'll make you famous." He went just like that, So I'm looking like this, I'm looking at the guy and I go, in my mind I'm going, oh my gosh, this guy's an egomaniac. I'm going to get stuck coaching a nut for 10 years. And honestly, I think in the back of my mind, I said, I'll get him back. I'll trade him. I get rid of the fruitcake. I'll trade him for a first. This is perfect. And 2 days later, I get a phone call and it's John. And he goes, "Joe, there's only one thing I want to put in my contract." And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "A no trade clause." Now, I tell everybody, somebody up there was looking out after me.
Well, I'll start off by saying I'm bored, I'm broke, and I'm back. Guys are, they're just like they've always been. It's almost like I hadn't been gone. I'm tired of just running up and down the field by myself. But, after laying off this long, as that Wild Mountain Man said, and it better be good.
Gibbs unleashed Riggins. He wasn't a beautiful runner. He was a powerful runner. But his power was beautiful to watch.
I had the perfect angle that every cameraman would die for, to be able to see him go through holes, to see him use his ability, his quickness, his athletic ability. He was just everything you want in a great big running back. You didn't hit John, John hit you. I can't ever recall somebody putting John on his back. That just wasn't going to happen. No one would take John on because it was all shoulder pads, giant thigh pads, and knees. And he was a relentless trainer. Yeah, he ran hard off the field, but he was always the last guy running gassers, trying to get, I'm sure, something out of his system and get himself into shape.
As always, John did it his way.
Called and asked, "Hey, can we work out early tomorrow?" I said, "Sure, what time?" And he said, "Well, I need to be in a duck blind in Baltimore before the sun comes up." So I said, "How about 3:30? And he said, "Sure." And at 3:30 he was there. We had a cup of coffee and turned the music up. And from the beginning to the end, he just went at it and went duck hunting.
After practice, Riggo would herd his offensive linemen into the Redskins' equipment shed.
5 o'clock club was a means for the select few to get together, solve a lot of world's problems over a couple of 12-ounce curls. We even had a president. It was self-anointed. It was John. He called himself El Presidente.
Yeah, I was self-appointed with no elections. I fancied myself as that guy, I was the one that kind of, needled everybody. But it was always about fun and games. It wasn't we were in there, mapping out strategies of what we were going to do on Sunday. It was a social hour.
John's the character of the characters that were a part of that football team.
I've been a bad boy.
He's the lead act.
Riggins, John, knucklehead.
John wasn't afraid to buck the establishment. John wasn't afraid to do something out of the ordinary. If the band was playing, John had his own drums that he was beating on.
I do have a drinking problem, but that's only when I'm hanging from the rafters by my knees.
I think that the biggest misconception is that he is a clown, and he's not a clown. He's a showman instead, and he knows intuitively the right thing to do, and yet do it in a colorful way.
Football was never my life. Interesting. The guys, the relationships were my life. I have an ability to be able to relate to damn near everybody, and I've sat